What's going on? What's going on? It's driving the well. Thursday. We are driving to well. Got the brakes done. Oh, you gotta turn this off. Yeah. We got the brakes done this week. We got the phone done, the tires done, and got a lot done this week. And a lot done with the car. So thought I'd go live, see what's up. Um, Shout out to all the new subscribers. I know my buddy Austin went live, and prayers to him and his family. They have a huge fire out there in Texas, which is a huge huge crazy travesty on what's going on out there. I saw the pictures, the videos on what's going on, and it's literally miles from my brother's home. So shout out to Austin, him and his girlfriend out there. Crazy what's going on, and I hope, brother, that you are safe, and I hope that everything goes well with you. But yeah, we are live. Thank you, everybody who subscribed to the channel. I know we lost a couple subscribers because of the BS, but um, blessings to everybody. We are doing well. We are out here in San Francisco, and we doing good, man. So yeah, we're just out here chilling. I know it's kind of late. It's like late night, 10:53 out here. I don't know if anybody's awake, but we're gonna kind of do a late night special, and see if anybody joins. If you want to come up, I'll repost the link for anybody who wants to come up. If not, we'll go ahead and do it tomorrow. I know Fridays kind of cater to other people. Um, but let me go ahead and post the chat link. Dun, 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 dun. Here we go. All right. Well, whoever wants to join, welcome. It's your boy driving the well. Let's go. Let's get it. I know it's late. We on West Coast time, right? West Coast time. And the link is in the chat if y'all trying to join. Uh, Ski, you're welcome up if you're here. I know you're busy, my man. I know, shit, my boy, shit, what's that dude's name? Forget. I forgot, man. He told me he was in jail, man. Send something on his books, man. For real, for real. Send some on his books. For sure. But real trouble that we've been having out here in San Francisco is like a lot of things going on with people. I wouldn't. I don't want to say illegals, but the thing is, um, a lot of accounts, you know, just are kind of questionable. So, um, and you on, both accounts or what? Oh, we got a guess. We got a guess. Oh, we got. There we go. Mister Missy. Oh my God! Turn your sound off. Oh my God. This is rough. I knew that. Oh my God! That's horrible, man. Hold on, man. Go smoke it. Probably better. All right. Yeah. All right, dude. We still figuring this shit out.
Nice, nice.
So,
What's going down, man?
what's going on? What's going on, man?
Shit, man. Just trying to make it out in this fucking game, dog. Just trying to get this right shirt going, Just fucking out here in the city, San Francisco, and we trying to make it happen, bro.
All right. Do me a favor and turn down your mic because it's hella loud.
Is that better?
Yeah.
Cool, cool.
So, what have you observed on the rideshare game out here in San Francisco? Um, and what are you doing out here in San Francisco as a rideshare driver to diversify?
Man, so I mean, we're kind of blessed being out in California because you got a whole bunch of different apps that you can use, and I'm talking about not only Uber Eats, DoorDash, but you can also do Uber with people, Lyft with people, and they got other apps that are called Rapidus, where you're driving basically with packages for people, and they got pretty good payouts on that. There's so many different apps that you can do out here in California where you can kind of do different, varieties of making money, and like your channel is driving to wealth, so you'll be driving to wealth with all those different apps that you got out here. And I think that the best opportunities are out in either New York or California because you have such a congested city and you got all these blocks up in one space that this is kind of where it's at if you want to make the money. So saying all that, I definitely, what I've been doing my whole pretty much driving career, I've been driving for Uber and Lyft since I want to say day one almost, where Uber was the first one to come out with people, and they were doing Uber Black only. I had a limo at the time, so I was doing Uber Black with I had my own Lincoln Town car. I signed up, I was doing it, and ever since then I got hooked. Because the money was good. They were only taking I think at the time they were only taking like less than 5% from the drivers. So we were doing it. It was a little different of a system. We didn't have the whole navigation where you just press a button and it navigates you directly to the source. But nowadays, it's a much easier to do. And saying that, obviously, they're taking a lot more money from us as drivers. But overall, San Francisco is kind of a good place to do still rideshare or other kind of apps and just kind of get it all together where you're making money through doing different things. You're doing Uber Eats, doing rideshare with people, or if you're doing packages of Rapidus, or even fucking at this point, my apologies for the swearing, but even for the, if you're trying to do um what is it, roadie, You know what I mean? We got roadie out here, and roadie's even pretty decent out here where you can make good money if that's what you want, and they accepted you, and then you can do the packages. So out
Hey,
here, man, you can
do
make it
me a
happen.
favor. Do me a favor. My bad to cut you off. Your audio is like super high. Um,
Uh-huh.
so kind of lower that.
Okay. How is it now?
Okay, you're good.
Better? Okay. So yeah, that's what I was talking about, man. Is just it depends obviously where you're at, but in California, you can make a lot of money with the different apps that you got, and definitely the people is where it's at out here. You can make a lot of money with people or driving with people. I'm basically still driving with people ever since day one. I'm averaging now about $25 an hour, and depending on if there's like events, like yesterday we had the Madonna concert out here, and I literally took somebody to Oakland from San Francisco, which was about 25 minute drive. I made about $78 off two sisters where they were going to two destinations, but they only added a stop. So it was $78 for, I want to say maybe like 25 to 30 minutes of my time. You know?
Yeah, yeah. Can you hear me right now? My bad.
Yeah,
We might
I
be
can hear
having
you.
audio issues.
No, I hear you.
All right, for sure. So what do you think the biggest challenge out here in San Francisco um, with rideshare out here right now?
Honestly, I think the biggest challenge is just getting to know the areas and just putting yourself out there and doing it, because you got so much places that you can be at once, and just kind of figuring out the areas where you can actually accumulate the money that you want and do what you need to do. They have so many, and in a way they're kind of shady, but it's ghost kitchens. So I mean, depending on what you're doing, if you're doing people or you're doing Uber, Eats or DoorDash, it depends on what you're doing. But if you're doing, like, let's say Uber Eats or DoorDash, you definitely have to figure out where these supposedly, like, somewhat, I would say, shady ghost kitchens are, and you got to kind of place yourself around those ghost kitchens to be able to make the kind of money that you want to make, because those are the businesses that are putting out 3 to 4 different types of restaurants, and even though it's not like legit type restaurants, you know what I mean, they still go by the name brand, and because they're going by the name brand, people are ordering. So if you're putting yourself close to those kind of areas, you're going to be making money because you're going to be around, like, let's say Chick-fil-A or Wingstop or whatever it is, but you're going to be around those kind of ghost kitchens that are having the chefs that are cooking up those kind of meals where they're still putting out the name brand, and you're going to be able to make the money off of, like, food delivery. If you're doing people, you want to be in, pretty much, I mean, out here in California, San Francisco, where we're at, you basically have San Francisco, you got Oakland, and you got San Jose, which are the major cities. So as long as you somewhere's in that vicinity or around there, you're going to be called out to one of those cities eventually. But even, like, let's say you're in a small town like San Mateo, which is like a midtown between San Jose and San Francisco, you're going to get enough orders as driving for, like, with people, to where you're going to be in San Francisco or San Jose later on, and you're going to get there eventually, but you're going to have, enough customers that are going to lead you to that point, you know.
Right, right. So do you think that the San Francisco market is oversaturated right now with a type of specific people out here that you cannot make that money?
Kind of through experience and kind of doing it myself, and experiencing what I see, I definitely feel, I don't know if it's the whole open border Biden policy. I'm not trying to get into politics with this, but there definitely is an issue in the border, and I definitely see an influx of people that are. San Francisco is one of those cities where it's very democratically open. So what I'm trying to say by that is, like, in San Francisco, You can literally not have a license, rent a scooter, and be able to get on DoorDash or any kind of food delivery service and make money by just doing that and not even be legally in this country. So, kind of what I've been noticing is that there's a lot of people questionable that they're even citizens of the United States that are parked on scooters in front of restaurants that I know these scooters are rented. They're not theirs because there's a groups of them, like literally many groups of them, and they're just taking all the best orders in San Francisco proper. They're taking all the best orders and they're just sitting there and like literally as people who have cars, we can't park where they're parked because as scooters, you can pretty much go in between cars and park next to the hottest restaurants that are like, having the fire symbol on DoorDash or on Uber Eats or the hotspots as they call it. And as drivers with cars, we can't do that. We don't have the scooters. So I definitely see an influx of call them illegals or call them Habibis, whatever you want to call them. You know what I mean? But there's definitely an element there in San Francisco and in other major cities that I see that are kind of maybe taken over, and they're kind of getting the best orders. They like literally they're getting the best orders.
So now, do you think that these situations are hindering the rideshare community?
Definitely, and it depends like on who you are as a person and what you're trying to do. But if you're trying to do this full time in major cities across the United States right now, it's almost impossible to try to do this full time and make a living to where you're satisfied with what you're going to do, especially with the government raising interest rates and just rents all around, the United States being so high that as an independent contractor, 1099 driver, if you want to make a living right now, you have to compete not only with the rising wages, the rising interest rates, but you're having to compete with people that might not even be legally here and that are taking over our jobs that we might be able to have available to us and be free to us to be able to access. And now that's not the possibility anymore because now we have to kind of get on that level of mentality where do we need a scooter now so we can park in front of these kind of restaurants that are hot spots and take over some of that business and be able to get these like orders that we're making money off of. It's kind of crazy what's going on right now because of the influx of what's happening, and the whole administration that's making it happen.
So now, how do we combat the situation with what's going on, and how do we fight against that? Do we uh, put legislation these uh, towards our local government, or how do we actually fight the system and make this fair, to where that we can actually compete as citizens of the United States? Or do you think rideshare is dead?
I definitely don't think rideshare is dead just yet. I think as long as AI is not taking over the whole driving technology thing, which in San Francisco, sadly, it's kind of happening, but not to the point where you can't make money here still. But I definitely feel like number one, if you want change, we are in an election year, so you definitely have to vote for the right people to be in office that are going to make those changes. And depending on, like I said, it's not about them democracy or Republican or whatever. It's not about any of that. It's about you seeing what it is for itself and doing your own research and being like a free mind thinker and being like, there is a problem here. So am I going to vote the right people into office to make this happen to where I can finally start making some money off of this because the opportunity is here for me as an American citizen? Or are you going to maybe go with more of a laxed type mentality and be like, you know what? I want to go with a guy who is a more of a free thinker type thing and who cares, let the illegals in and pour in. And not to, like I said, be on the side of anybody, but at the end of the day, we know who's for who and what is for what. And at the end of the day, if you want to make the money, you definitely have to go with the side that's going to help us to do that, to where maybe being like a person who has the mentality of letting illegals pour in might not be the right way to do it, type thing.
Okay, so there's a lot of differences in rideshare right now, and it's a very diverse culture. How do we all coincide in this culture together, or can we coincide in this culture together, or is this becoming something that we cannot do together? Is it coinciding? So I know there's like there's definitely a culture shock on what we have going on in rideshare, and we have a influx of new drivers definitely taking over the market. How do you feel that we can change the market? Do we need to start going outside of the apps, or do we need to start unions? How do we break this cycle um, of getting it back to the drivers?
It's one of those like really tough questions, and at the end of the day, I think we need to embrace what's happening and be open to it, because as an individual being a rideshare driver, you're not going to be able to change it just by you individually. But as a collective, yes, you know what I mean? Like if you're trying to do a whole like union type thing, and I think it's always like something that's up there. And I've like through my time as a rideshare driver, I've seen many people that have tried to start a union, and it's a great idea, but at the same time, you really need to. It's one of those things mentally where you're like fighting such a big corporation and their money. You know what I mean? So to try to do that, like it's almost like infamable. Like you're like, are you going to be able to do it because you're going up against a corporation that has so much money to be able to try to make a union? But when it comes to just like what's happening right now in the whole rideshare industry, it depends what city you're in. But like if you're in a major city, there's always money to be made. I definitely feel like their opportunity is there. It's just kind of placing yourself within what is profitable. So like for instance, what I'm trying to say as an example, if like let's say you're doing Uber Eats or DoorDash, and you know that there is an influx of maybe illegals that are taking over that business, I think that you kind of gotta adapt to what's happening. And like let's say that you have these illegals, right, and they're doing the business. So basically, as an illegal, what's the one thing you can't do? You're not going to be able to get you're not going to be able to get a license. You're not going to be able to drive and do it with like people, or do even maybe package deliveries or certain apps that actually require you to have a driver's license. But like here in San Francisco, because it's like such an open type state, people can rent motorcycles or scooters that are less than 150cc, and they can do the rideshare apps and make good money. And they're taking over, yes, because there's such a big influx of them and they all stick together. So I think in generality, we need to kind of expand on it and be like, okay, well, if they're taking over the food business, then what can they do? And we have to kind of think outside the box. But at the end of the day, we got to be like, yo, they're not going to be able to have licenses out here in California. So let's do either ride share through the people, so that we're doing like a Lyft or Uber with people that they can't do. And then we're making, I mean, out here still doing this up to today's day, from like the time it first started. I'm making on average about 25 an hour, in San Francisco. Depending on if there's events or not, then you can make more. But $25 an hour is about average, $25 an hour. And then you doing that, and then doing package delivery like Rapid is, or even if it's with like through the FedEx or Walmart Spark, I guess it's called. Whatever you can get your hands on, as long as you're doing stuff that they can't do, you're going to make money. And I think that's kind of important to kind of think outside the box a little bit and do what you feel they're not going to be able to do, so that you can make the money that you want to make.
So, so all good points, Chris. What do you think? Do you think rideshare is dead right now? With the ongoing battle with Uber and Lyft, with taking at least 60% of the wages. I know we had a conversation a couple months ago with that you were making a lot more. Um, do you think that rideshare drivers need to diversify and make more money on different apps rather than just rely on Uber and Lyft and DoorDash and Uber Eats? Or do you think that maybe that we need to just go on to just like creating links like Cash App and Venmo and Zelle as and create this into like a private rideshare business?
That's a very good question. And being in the game as long as I have, I definitely see the trend going towards being non-profitable, in the sense of out here in San Francisco, and I'm sure there's other major cities, but you have Waymo, you have Cruise, which are self-driving cars that are picking up passengers and taking them to their destination. And more people are starting to jump on ship with that. And, if you think about it, it's fucking genius, because you don't have to tip, you don't have to do anything. You're basically paying a robot to take you from A to B. And even as a rideshare driver, sometimes I feel like a robot. You know what I mean? I still have that experience of customer service, which having a driverless car, you don't get that experience anymore. But saying all that, I definitely feel like it's not something that's going to be sustainable in the future to do rideshare. So yes, I do feel like we need to adapt, and creating links and all that. I definitely feel you're on the right track, because what's going to happen is, depending on what city you're in, but if you're like a major city, like let's say SF, LA, New York, any kind of major city, Boston, um, I think the way to go with all this is, while we still have that chance before AI basically takes over, is put our names out there. You're picking up people, especially like high profile people. I definitely feel like most of these drivers should have some kind of business cards, create some kind of fake company just in the beginning, you know what I mean? Just to get your name out there, and start distributing these business cards and letting people know that, hey, we can pick you up and we can take you to your destination. You can make reservations ahead of time. We're so much more flexible than like what an AI could do. And just showing the community that, the support that we can give them that AI wouldn't be able to give them, that we're there for them, and the service that we could provide for them. AI is not going to be able to take somebody to the airport and handle their luggage. What if you got a family with like two kids, like especially infants, and they don't want to handle their luggage in and out of the vehicle. They want to be able to take care of their kids and take them out of the car seats. You know what I mean? When you get to the airport, you're going to be able to handle that for them, and you're going to be able to make their job so much easier. AI is not going to be able to do that for us. So I definitely feel that there is a whole element to the whole customer service aspect of taking people and driving with people. But you know what I mean? Like I said, we definitely need to get our names out there and brand ourselves and create this whole private list of clientele that we can call upon when AI does start taking over more and more, and we're able to then basically have our own private clientele to be able to get us to the kind of money that we want, you know?
So let me ask you: does that as private clients, do we need to up our game and provide a service that's better than Uber and Lyft? You know, because right now, Uber and Lyft and Uber are taking about so what I heard on the street is about 60% of the profits. So do you think that we need to act as more of private drivers where we need to up the game and dress the part and actually be more of like actual private limo drivers to where Uber actually started um, stealing the game. Um, is that something that we need to actually incorporate into our business and actually just start becoming like almost Uber black um, drivers to where now in our private rides we need to actually start incorporating a system of actually a dress code, a code of ethics, and of actually creating a system of where we get off of these platforms, if that makes sense.
Oh, definitely. And I definitely think yes, we do. I mean, at the end of the day, it's going to be up to your comfort level as a driver. You know what I mean? So if you don't want to be in a dress code, that's totally fine. That's up to you. And if you can find those kind of people that are going to accept you on the long run and still be your clients, and you can dress the way you want to dress, that's fine. But if you want those higher paying clientele and you want those people that are going to trust you and call you on a daily basis, you definitely need to step up your game, and you need to have that dress code that's going to be professional, and you're going to be able to not only take these people on runs to, like, let's say airport or daily type, routine runs that they have. But what if they have friends or family that come in and they want to do tours, especially here in, like, Bay Area, San Francisco, where you have so much variety that you can do wine tours, you can do tours of the different cities that are out here, you can do tours of Lake Tahoe, Yosemite. There's so much out here that you can do. And I feel like if you can up your game to the point, like, yes, you do dress more professionally, you're in a more of a code of ethic type thing, then definitely not only are you going to get those clientele and you're going to keep that base, but you're also going to get the the referrals. You're going to get that family and friends that are going to refer you to their friends, to their family, and your growth, and you know what I mean, and what you want in this life, it's going to it's going to be like growth that you've never seen before, because just because of certain little things that you can do to better your image and to better your life. So, you know what I mean? So if you, like you said, yeah, definitely, you want to dress up, you want to maybe get out of your comfort zone, but definitely be of a more professional, statue, then you're definitely going to get more clientele, and you're going to definitely do a lot more in business and make more money than you would if you were just trying to be comfortable and try to, work off of Uber and Lyft platforms, or like, let's say, Eats type of platforms, where you're going to be able to dress the way you want to dress. But most people are not going to be filling that out. They're not going to cater to. You're not going to be catering to those people that you might be able to uphold as a daily or even a weekly subscriber type sense, where, you know what I mean, you have somebody that's going to be able to use you and make reservations through you to be able to have that clientele base.
Okay, a long time ago, I met you making I think we had talked about, you had made at least three G's a week. Do you think that driver pay has gone down since the pandemic, and why do you think the driver pay has gone down?
I definitely feel like it has gone down. I think that the companies are getting kind of greedy. You see all these radio ads that they're always like suing these companies, ride sharing companies, because they're withholding our tips. They're doing so many shady things in the background that we don't even know about, and there's always some kind of cases being made against that so that we can get our money back. But yes, I was making about $3,000 a week before in San Francisco doing ride share, and at that time gas prices were still not so high. So I feel like there's so much variety that goes into that, because yes, gas prices have gone much higher. You have inflation, which is happening and is making the cost of goods much higher. So even the side money that I was making, that I was spending like for food and for living, has gone so much higher that they have not raised the rates on people to be able to make back that kind of money, to where, like, even if I was making 3 G's a week, that would actually account for something, because now that 3 G's pretty much breaks it down to like 1,500 or 2 G's because of the cost of living. So I definitely feel like it has gone up substantially, and I feel like these companies that we work for as 1099 contractors are not giving us the full money that we deserve. And you know what I mean, including tips that they're withholding and everything. And I definitely feel like as rideshare drivers, we deserve a lot better, and we need to do something about it to be able to get our money, and not just going through these class action lawsuits that they're putting on us through radio ads, where we have to sign up and do what we can to get the money that we deserve in the first place. That is our money to begin with.
Okay, so with the class action lawsuits that are going on right now, do you think it's helping Uber and Lyft drivers and delivery drivers, or do you think it's actually hurting the industry?
I think it's a double-edged sword, because I mean, at one point you have us, the drivers, that are hearing these ads, and we're like, oh shit, yeah, let's sign up so we can get our money back. But then at the end of the day, you also have the consumers that are listening to these ads, and they're like, oh man, these guys are ripping these guys off, and these are our drivers. So why should we use these, especially if we have the capabilities of using um, Cruise or Waymo, which are the self-driving AI cars? And then it's like, those guys are not getting ripped off. You know what I mean? That's just some company that, at the end of the day, it's a big corporation, because Waymo is owned by Google and Cruise is owned by GM. So it's like a double-edged sword, because no matter how we look at it, we're getting screwed as a driver, a 1099. We're getting screwed either way we do it. We're going to either be suffering because we're going to have to lose clientele to the big corporations that are having the self-driving AI technology, or we're going to go through these class action lawsuits all the time, which the consumer also hears these ads on the radio or TV, and then they're going to think that we're getting screwed, so they're not going to want to use us in the first place, because they're like, why use them if we have this other, other way of gaining from point A to point B, and we're not gonna feel like we're screwing the consumer type thing, you know.
Okay. So, do you think that the Waymos, the self-driving systems, are they helping or hurting the rideshare industry?
As of right now, they're hurting us because now we have competition. We have people that we have to go against that are not even drivers; they're AI cars, and it's already been proven that these AI cars have been disrupting traffic flow. They've been disrupting emergency vehicles. They've been disrupting and hitting like animals that are like pets for people, you know what I mean, that are walking across like sidewalks or like pedestrian crossings. So as of right now, I definitely feel like it's a disruption. But if you go back to when taxis and limos, like black cars, were a thing, and when Uber and Lyft first came out, back in the early 2000s or even like mid 2000s, that was a whole nother thing. And that was like a disruption in itself. And that whole industry got disrupted because of us. So now I feel like it's a whole nother phase, and we're in this whole new, like generation of AI and technology and what's happening. And definitely it's another disruption. So we're either going to embrace it, we're going to fight against it. But whatever we do, I do feel like as people, we still need to stay afloat. We need to make our money. So I don't know if we can work with them with AI, and you know what I mean. We can be a whole big happy family, or if we need to kind of band together as rideshare drivers and be like stand up and be like, no, this cannot. We cannot allow this because we see the disruption that's happening again, and now it's to us, as rideshare drivers rather than what it was before to taxi drivers and to black car drivers.
Okay. So, last question. Do you think that unionizing the rideshare industry is a good thing for the rideshare industry, and why?
Unionizing is always one of those scrutiny type situations where, I mean, if you got a whole bunch of people that are willing to unionize, what do we got to do? We got to put up a membership fee. There's a lot of things that go into being into unionizing a whole industry, and I think it's been trying to happen for so long, and it never has happened. But there's always talk of it. I think at the end of the day, what's going to happen is that if they allow AI to really start taking over every major city, we as rideshare drivers need to unionize. Like, I don't think there's any other way. I think we're going to need to do it because we need to have our own voice. And as individuals of doing a rideshare right now, we kind of don't have a single voice as a union. We have all these individual voices, and I don't think that is going to get us anywhere. So I do think that unionizing for the long run will be a benefit to us to be able to have our own voice and our own say. And the more of us there is that are having the same word, I definitely feel like we'll be able to make a bigger impact on the industry, and we'll be able to kind of stop technology and AI from rapidly expanding the way that it is. But eventually it's bound to happen. And you know what I mean? I think that who we are and what we're doing, even if it's a dying game, and making money the way that we are making now, I definitely feel that we can kind of stop the wheels from going round as quick as they are by unionizing and being able to kind of like have our own voice. Or even if that's not the case, but we unionize, I definitely feel like we'll be able to work side by side with AI and just provide even more of a quicker pickup time for people, especially in major cities where it's so compact, or even like LA where it's spread out, but you have such a major city that you have to cover so many people, that it will be beneficial to be a union and having one voice, so that if anything does come out to where we're having to fight these big corporations like GM or Google, that we'll have one voice, but that voice is going to make such a big impact that it's going to really stagnate the big companies from being able to take over and do what they want to do to us, so that we're able to kind of be on the same playing field as them.
Okay, okay. Well, I think I think there's some great insights tonight. My last question is, green chili or red chili?
You know what, man? That's a really tough question. But at the end of the day, I think it's all about Christmas, man. I think we got to have a dip of both, because there's flavors for everybody, and you like that hot or you like that mild. But at the end of the day, Christmas is the way.
All right, brother. Well, we appreciate you coming on the podcast. We definitely hope to see your insight in the future, and we thank you for the insight on the channel, and we thank for you being a subscriber, and hopefully we can continue this dialogue of rideshare drivers actually opening it up and talking about the experience rather than like being scared to show the numbers and be afraid of the dialogue where the YouTube channels have been going. We definitely want to bring a dialogue on this channel, Driving to Wealth, um, of people bringing out their everyday lifestyle and what's going on. Um, and we appreciate your knowledge and your blessings on what is going on in San Francisco, in San Mateo. And we appreciate you, brother. And we hope you have a blessed night. And thank you for bringing your knowledge and wisdom to the channel. And like and subscribe to the channel if you like. If you want to shout out your social media, go ahead and do that right now.
Yeah, man. I mean, like DJ Taminsky is the name. I just make music. I make EDM, hip hop type beats. So if you want to follow me, man, and hear out some of my tunes, that's all. That's all it is. Some simple shit. But man, thanks for having me on. I really appreciate it. I've been listening to you for a while now. I definitely appreciate what you're doing for the community, for rideshare, and like I said, man, thank you. You're an inspiration to a lot of us, and man, just keep doing what you're doing.
Hey, we appreciate and have a blessed night, brother. And we appreciate everything that you're doing and keep bringing knowledge to the community. And we need more brothers like you to bring the knowledge to the community so we can all get inspired and so that we can all have knowledge onto what we are doing in the rideshare community and to bring more awareness onto the real facts on what's going on in the rideshare game, and let's not bullshit. Let's bring everybody together. Let's do this. Let's drive the wealth. Let's bring this community together. Let's do this together. So I appreciate you, Chris, for being on the podcast. Um, I know we just hit 50 subscribers, so I appreciate everybody who subscribe. I appreciate that. You know what I mean. You're one of the subscribers, somebody who's going to be driving the wealth, and we're gonna build this channel together. And let's get it. Let's go. And thank you.
Yes,
More
sir,
blessing
brother.
to you. And I'm gonna sign off from here. And thank you, brother.
All right, my ninja. Have a good one, brother.
All right, you too.
Peace.
Peace.